everyone, Mike the Pied Piper here, and I'm here on behalf of Team Main Deck to go over another Dragon Ball Super deck profile video. And this week I wanted to go over a more aggressive style deck. Again, a really cheap deck that you can pick up, very competitive, you can use in locals, you can even build upon this to use in a competitive environment. But I wanted to go over a more aggressive style deck, because last week I went over more of a control style deck, and this week I really wanted to focus on an aggressive style, because not everyone's a controls type player. So I wanted to go over Red Yellow Beerus, and Red Yellow Beerus got some really awesome support. It got a really awesome promo that literally makes Red Yellow Arrival so much easier to do. So I'm going to get right into it. And first we're going to go over the leader for the deck. And the leader is Beerus, and then Beerus Furious Strike. And the leader, simply put, activate main once per turn, choose one red or yellow card from your hand and place it in your drop, draw 2 cards. Now, what makes this so good is you do not have to attack. This is something you can discard any red yellow card from your hand. You can do this the first turn, even if you don't swing, to net a card. So you're getting rid of something that you don't need in your hand, or something that you even want in your drop area to draw 2 cards that you do need. And this is a really, really awesome activate main, because if you're going against decks that want you to attack them so they can hurry up and awaken, you can just simply tell them no with this, with Beerus. And I've actually done that quite a few times. Like, there's a lot of decks that want you to attack them so they can awaken, and you can just wait for the right time, not attack, still build your hand, and getting exactly what you need with Beerus. So a really good activate main. It does awaken when 4 or less life. You may choose 2 of your energy. So this is a untap 2 when you awaken. And then you go into the awaken side, Beerus Furious Strike. Now, Beerus Furious Strike does not draw a card when it attacks. However, in my opinion, it has an even better ability. It has activate battle once per turn. So you can do this not only on your turn, but your opponent's turn, and you get to choose a red-yellow multicolor card in your drop area and combo with it. This is incredible, because most of your multi-yellow cards are going to be 10k. You combo with it for free. You do not need to pay the cost, and this helps set up your arrival stuff, because you get to combo with a red-yellow card for free. And you're going to get that red-yellow multicolor card in your drop area with Beerus's unawakened side, using his activate main. So you get to discard a red or yellow card. He also has a pretty awesome ability. Activate main once per turn. You can activate a red yellow, and you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So it has built-in card removal. You get the combo for free. A really great leader to build a deck around. So I'm going to bring up the deck profile. And this is kind of my version of the deck. It costs about $100 to make. Actually, it's a little bit cheaper, a lot of these cards, because I have the promo versions of them on here. But you could build this deck for around $100, and foiling it out isn't even going to cost that much more. So, really cheap deck profile, deck to build, super aggressive, and a whole lot of fun. So the first thing that, just like I started with the other video, the first thing I want to get into is the super combo. And there are a couple of super combos that you can choose with this deck. I chose the Whis Celestial Moderator. In my opinion, I feel like it's the better super combo for this deck, because this deck does not need to draw. There is the Beerus super combo, where you get to put a card in your hand, and based upon if it's red or yellow, it does 5k more combo power or minus something by 5k. I don't think this deck lacks any draw power, so I do like this Whis Celestial Moderator. Again, you combo with this, you can combo at any time. You don't have to wait until you're at 4 or less life, etc. When you combo with this card, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and he gets minus 10k for the turn. So essentially comboing with this card, you're gaining 20k because you do 10k, you add to yours, and then you minus their card by 10k, as long as it doesn't have barrier. You're also going to be using this for Arrival. This is a really great card for Arrival because you need to combo a red-yellow card or a red card and a yellow card. And this card just, it's going to set up your Arrivals. So I do run that super combo for this deck. The next thing that I wanted to get over is when you do use Beerus's Activate main on his Unawakened side, there are cards that you're going to want in your drop area. And when you, it's essentially, you don't want them in your hand, they're better fit in your drop area. And you're just getting value putting these cards in the drop area so you can draw 2 cards that you actually need. And these 2 cards are Whis Godly Fundamentals. And again, this is, if this card is in your drop area, send it to the warp. You can choose up to 1 of your life. You do not have to choose a life, but you can add a life to your hand if you need to self-awaken, and you get to choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 5k. Again, a card you do not need in your hand, you would rather have into your drop area, and with Beerus's Activate main, you're able to do that. So this is a really solid card. Another card that you're going to want in your drop area is Great Ape Son Goku Saiyan Instincts. This card back in the day used to be extremely expensive, but now that they've reprinted this card multiple times, you can get this card on TCG Player for like $2-3, and I highly recommend picking it up. This card, literally, pay 2, send this card from your drop to your warp, and you get to draw 2 cards. So this is really great to use on your Awakened side when you need card draw, but you're not drawing cards due to Beerus's power. So this is just a really, really nice card. Pay 2, draw 2 cards. You can even use it on your Unawakened side to really build up your hand. And this deck builds a lot of cards in your hand. So those are 8 cards that you're going to want in your drop area. So predominantly, when you do your Activate main, you're going to want to discard this card from your hand, one of these 8 cards from your hand, or a red-yellow card, just to have that red-yellow card in order to use on his Unawakened side, or his Awakened side, his Activate battle that you get to combo with a card. So, the next thing that I kind of wanted to go over with the deck is the Arrival cards in the deck. And these are cards, I'll bring this one up first, and this is the big one that made Red-Yellow Arrival really, really good. These are out of the promotional packs. And this is Beerus Divine Destroyer's Advent. Such a good card, because Offering, so for those of you that don't know, Offering, when this card is played, your opponent must either take a life or crit a life. I apologize, crit a life, or you draw 2 cards. So when this is played, you either get to draw 2 cards when you play this, or they must crit a life. So really, really good. You can Arrival this, and what Arrival is as long as you have a red and yellow card in your combo area, and yes, a red-yellow card counts as both, you can then pay the red or yellow energy, and you can play this card from your hand. You can do this on your turn or your opponent's turn. So the reason this card's so good for the deck, and it kind of made red-yellow really good again, is because this is another card that if you have a red-yellow in your energy, the combo cost of this costs -1. So now you can, again, 1 card from your hand, you can combo without paying any energy to Arrival your cards, because this has a 1 cost 5k. So with a multicolor card, this is another way to easily get out your Arrival stuff. And then, not to mention, this card even has a really good ability. When it attacks, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, 4 or less in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active mode. So you can lock down 1 of their cards, so it just can't keep switching to active mode and then attacking you. So really, really, really solid card. Run 4 of it in this deck by far. Another Arrival card that I run in this deck is Beerus Unceasing Rage. Arrival, red-yellow, you cost red, and then when you play this card, you get to draw a card, so it replaces itself, getting a bunch of cards in your hand. Then you get to choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode to get -10k. So it does have some removal. Again, you can combo this along with your super combo to get rid of cards that they have, battle cards that they have out. And then not to mention, when this card is out, when you play it, normally I'll play this on my opponent's turn, you can activate main the next turn, 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 colorless, and you get to choose all of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. They get negative 20k. This card gets plus 5k and triple strike. So it's kind of like a pseudo kind of boss monster card. Really cheap to play. Again, costs 1 red. Combo it on your next turn, and you're wiping your opponent's board. Just a really solid triple striker. And then the next arrival card that I'll actually run with the deck here. Let's see. So we got that one. We got that one. The next one that I like to run is Beerus No Holds Barred, and I do run 2 copies of this. This is kind of one of those like surprise cards, because when you arrival with this, when you play this card, you get to choose one. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 30,000 power or less and KO it. So let's say the battle card that is attacking you, it does not have barrier, and they try to swing in for game, or they do this ultra combo to do all this damage to you. All you need to do is arrival, play this, and that's it. Like, destroys it 30k or less. And keep in mind, you can combo this with your super combo to neg the battle card by 10k to put it to that 30k battle or power or less, and then you KO it. Combo power does not count towards the battle card. It's just adding combo power. This is something that, again, you can neg them. The actual value of the battle card, unless they use like Frieza's Death Ball, or if they use like Final Flash where it actually directly adds to it, combo power does not count with this card. So really good. You can also use this to shut down their leader from unresting for the turn. You can also do this with barrier, so you get to choose one of those 2 effects. Really solid card. I do run 2 of it, especially late game. Keep in mind, Beerus on Awakened side gets a combo red-yellow card for free, so your arrival stuff is going to come out pretty quickly with this card. So I do love Beerus No Holds Barred. Next thing that I do run here is SS3 Goku One-Hit Wonder. You can play this card when one of your opponent's power battle cards is decreased. If you don't have an SS3 Goku One-Hit Wonder, you can play this card from your hand. Really solid, because you're going to have a lot of things in this deck that neg the super combo, the arrival cards, Frieza's Death Ball, which we haven't gotten into that yet. This is just another way to put a card out on board, flood your board, just to put that 15k battle card out. Not to mention, this also has an activate battle. Again, this does something while in your drop area, so this could be another card that you may possibly use with Beerus's activate main. Pay 1 red, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets negative 5k for the turn. So super solid card. I do run 2 of them. I would run more, but I mean, with the amount of draw you're getting in this deck, you're gonna see this more often than not. The next cards that I wanted to get into is I absolutely positively love this card, Beerus Biding Time. So depending on the opponent that you're facing, you may not swing with your leader right away. This card, what it does is it costs 1 red. 1 red, as long as you have a multicolor, red-yellow multicolor card in your energy area. And again, you can only have one of these out, but essentially it costs 1 red energy, and it is a 15k crit. And your opponent is going to have to do something about that. They're not just going to be able to willy-nilly take that to help awaken, because crit means they don't put the life from their into their hand, and instead goes into their drop. So this is a really solid card to play, just to keep that pressure going without giving your opponent a lot of cards. And a lot of times I'll actually do, so with Beerus Biding Time, a lot of times what I'll do is I will combo this with Furious Furthering Destruction Champa, giving it double strike crit for 25k. Which really hurts your opponents. 2 cards that don't go into their hand. So I do run 4 of these. There's a lot of cards that I do run in the deck that I like to combo with this card. There is a boss monster card we'll get into with this deck that I love using with this card, which is just absolutely just super solid. But yeah, love using Further Destruction Champa. I do run 4. You could go down to 3 with it with this deck. So the next thing that I wanted to kind of go over is kind of the overwhelm cards that I run with this deck. With this, with Beerus, you are putting a lot of stuff in your drop area due to your effects, due to your activate main. So there are going to be a lot of cards in your drop area. So you can play around with a little bit of overwhelm. You do want to be careful, however, because keep in mind on your awakened side, you get to combo a red-yellow from your drop area for free. So you want to do this kind of semi-early game, or you're going to close out the game. And these are the 2 cards that I run for overwhelm. I do run SS3 Tag Team Trunks. This one is a little bit more of an expensive card. This does go for about, it can go for like $5 depending. Sometimes you can get it cheaper. But the reason I like SS3 Tag Team Trunks is, number one, it's only an overwhelm of 3, which 99% of the time with Beerus's effect, you're going to have this. You're going to be able to have the 3 in your drop. Not to mention, when you're playing this card, it gains critical, so you're doing critical damage, cards that are not going into their hands, forcing your opponent to make that tough decision. And when you swing with this, and they do not negate, because this is an activate battle, you can choose 1 card in your hand, send it to your warp, and now this gains double strike. So now it's like a 15k double strike crit. They're going to have to combo out of this. They're not going to sit there and want to take this, because they're going to lose out on 2 cards in their life that they could have had. So super solid. I do run 3 of these. And then the other one, and this is like my Pursudo Boss Monster card, which a lot of you who may have played this game back, like I've done this like way back when, I love doing this, is Mira Creator Absorbed. This one, it does cost 1, Overwhelm 4, and it has to deflect, which deflect, now that Trunks has been banned, you're not too much worried about this, but you don't have to worry about yellow doing any shenanigans on you because it does have deflect. And when you play this card, you're not going to use the auto. Not with this deck. You're not going to use the union skill, so you can pretty much negate the auto. What you're looking at is the auto down here. When this card attacks, this card gains plus 5,000 power for each card in your warp for the duration of the turn. Now remember, when you're overwhelming, you are putting all these cards in your warp, so this card's going to be swinging before you even combo 50, 60, 70, depending how late game this is, can even go up to 100 plus K without even comboing. So this is what you pair this card with, and it's kind of nasty. So the first thing, you do pair this with Furthering Destruction Champa, because this card only costs 1 to play, okay? And you have the Furthering Destruction Champa. But let's say they try to counter. Let's say they try to counter you, because they're going to want to counter this attack. There is no way they're going to try to, there's no way they're going to try to out-combo this attack. Then you have this incredible red-yellow card, and a lot of people actually forget about this card. Almighty Resistance, and I do run 3 of them. Counter, counter. If your leader is red and you choose 1 yellow card in your hand and place it in your drop, negate the counter attack skill. Basically, if your opponent tries to activate a counter to stop the attack, counter attack, you play this, you're going to take a yellow card or a red-yellow card from your hand, place it in your drop area, and it negates their counter. They cannot activate another counter. They can activate a blocker, but more likely than not, with this deck, with you destroying everything, they're not going to have a blocker out in play. So you can sit there and activate this, swing for Mira. They try to counter, play this, and then all of a sudden that Mira activate double strike. It's like, okay, 110 double strike, and there's not a lot they can do. So I do kind of call this my Pursudo kind of boss monster, try to wrap up the game. Super awesome play, and you only need to be at 4 energy to play it. So I absolutely love Almighty Resistance, and you can use it with other cards in the deck as well. Predominantly, you're going to be using this when you go for the Mira kill. Next thing that I wanted to go over, so let's see, we went over Mira, we went over that. The next thing I wanted to go over is some of the block, the defense that I use for the deck. Now, The ones that I like to use, obviously, I do run 4 Topo Righteous Aid. This is kind of like your Flood Negate, super good. Counterattack, choose one other card in your hand, place it in your drop area. So again, you can choose a card that you would want in the drop area anyway. Then you get to negate the attack, and then if they try to attack, they must then take 2 cards from their hand and place them in their drop area each time. More likely than not, you play this card successfully, it's going to end your opponent's turn. They're not going to try to go and just destroy their hand unless they think they can go for game for you. So, super solid counter, and then also it isn't never a dead card in your hand. Even when you don't have the energy, it's 5k combo power. So this is a really good card. Topo, I do run 4 of them. The other negate that I do run is I do run Testing the Opposition. I do run 3 of these. Again, this is a really solid card because if you are at 5 or less life, you literally can activate this for free for the counterattack, and you put a card from your life into your hand. This can help you awaken when you're at that like 5-4 life mark that you need to be, and then also when you counterattack with this, you get to play a blocker. 5k token, basically a blocker to help stop another attack. So this is kind of like, again, super solid card, great for red, great for the defense. Violent Rays used to be ran in this deck. However, Violent Rays did get errated, so now it is now 30k plus for battle cards and unisons. It was like a potential another red floodgate, but I feel like with Topo and Testing the Opposition, you have the defense that you need for the deck. Next card that I wanted to go over, and this card is actually really, really cool. I like this one. Freeze's Death Ball, and this one is kind of a shocker card because of the value that you get with it. This one is Activate Battle. If your leader card is red, choose one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards, and it gets plus 15,000 power for the duration of the battle. If all of your energy is red, which all of your energy is going to be red, you should not be playing any yellow energy. Red, yellow, fine. You just don't want to be playing any yellow energy. When you activate this card, choose up to one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards, and he gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the battle. So when you use this and you pay the 1, right, you are essentially doing a 25k swing because it's plus 15,000 power to your card and then minus 10k to the leader card or battle card. So if you're really trying to swing for game, and you only got that, like, you would be surprised, you got 1 or 2 of these in hand, play this. I mean, your opponent is going to have to overcome a whole lot. This can also be used to neg some of their other battle cards that are on field if you need to get rid of some of their other battle cards. Again, this does neg it by 10. You can also use your super combo and even neg more of their battle cards, blockers, or any of those other pesky things that are in your way. So I do run 4 of those. The next thing that I do run, Beerus Path to Destruction. I do run 2 of these. This is kind of like if you're having trouble with like barrier stuff. What's really nice about this is it can attack battle cards in active mode. So if your opponent, even if they have a card like barrier, just super troublesome, like it's just getting in your way, you run this. It essentially only costs 2 to play because you're going to have a red-yellow multi-card in your energy. And again, like those really troublesome barrier or those like cantrip type cards people play that are 1-drop that are just, they're just causing you all types of problems. Play this. This can swing right into them, and then you can pay a red-yellow to just switch this thing in active mode. So really solid card. I do run 2 of them. Don't need to run too many. Really, you could run this into the side deck, but I do run 2 just because, you know, especially with a lot of barrier battle cards out right now, this can get right through them. So, alrighty. So let's see. I think we went Yep. Finally, we got the Unison and then the SCR to go over. So I do run Vegito Unison of Might. I do run 2 of them because it is a late game Unison. This Unison is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. The +1 you're not going to use very often, to be honest with you, because you do not have many mono red battle cards with energy costs of 2 or less in your hand, or 2 or less in this deck. So really you're not going to use the +1. Where this is really going to shine is the -2, and that is until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent would play a battle card using a skill to place in your drop area, their drop area instead. This can literally shut down opponents' turns because so many battle cards are played using skills. -2 on this just literally shuts down their turn. So super solid. I do run 2 of them because it is a late game type play. Really like it. You may use the -5 if your opponent doesn't have any battle cards in play, deal 1 damage to them. Especially towards if you got the 5 energy, you could play 5 and then literally just activate the main on this. And if you need to do that last damage, I really just put this in here for the -2 for the activate main, just to be able to shut down opponents' turns, and can be super troublesome. Finally, the SCR that I do run in this deck. You could run different SCRs. I do run Frieza Army Reborn. This is a super cheap SCR that you can buy online. Normally, your ultimate cards are going to be the most expensive in this deck, but I did want to keep this deck at around $100, so Frieza Army Reborn, definitely a solid choice for this deck. It has Quad Strike, and it's an ultimate. Keep in mind, even though it doesn't have Deflect, you don't have to worry about Trunks anymore. You don't have to worry about that card paying all this energy and having it do absolutely nothing. So, super awesome card to play. Again, when you're at 2 or less life, you play this card. You get to look at their hand, choose a card from their hand. They have to put it in their drop area, so you can get that negate. You can get, that one card that's going to stop this. And then all of your opponent's battle cards, 40k power or less, ignoring barrier, get KO'd. So you're wiping their board, you're getting rid of their blockers, and then you literally play this Quad Strike, 4 damage, just super, super nasty. So very solid card to play with the deck. With the Z deck, just to go over the Z deck real quick, super easy. I just run Rush Attack SSB Vegeta. I do run 4 of these. I mean, why wouldn't you? You're going to be doing a lot of comboing in this deck. So I do run the 4. As of now, I don't have any other Z battle cards for this deck. I might have missed a red Z battle card to add to this. But keep in mind, make sure you're watching the new reveals, because there's probably going to be new Z battle cards revealed for this deck that you could add to it. But I do run 4 of the Rush Attack SSB Vegeta. Really strong card to play. Again, activate main. If you have 4 or more Z energy, you get to switch this card to active mode and get plus 10,000 power, double strike, and barrier. So really, really cool card to play late. You play it, you're not going to play it too much early game. You're going to play it more late game after you have a lot more Z energy and combo power, because you're going to be doing a lot more of your arrival stuff. But super awesome card to play. And I do not have a side deck for this deck yet. There is no side deck that I've got built for it. Again, this is more of a, I want you all to think outside the box. So this is just a blueprint. You can change certain things that you want, but when it comes to a new player and teaching them the game, I love this deck. Again, super great. Take it to locals, can tear it up. And it can turn into a competitive deck, especially with the brand new promo. So the last thing that I did want to go over is the promo cards. Or, sorry, not the promo cards, but the possible SCR cards that you could run this. And there's 2 other ones that you could run. This one is a little bit more expensive. SS3 Gohank's Interdimensional Warrior. It is going for about $60. However, what I do like about this card, it is a Unison with a 4-drop, and there is not a lot that can really deal with Unisons, except Black Smoke Dragon, and that is your 2-drops. What I really enjoy about this card, you play it, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. You get negative 25k for the turn, so you have that kind of that board wipe. +1 when your opponent attacks with a battle card, you may choose it, it gets negative 25k. The thing has ultimate, dual attack, and blocker. And finally, you want to do the -4 when it has 5 markers on it, because if you -4 and it only has the 4, then it gets deleted. But what's nice about this is on that turn 5, after you do the +1, this card gets plus 15k, triple strike for the turn. At the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. So you're essentially getting a dual attack, triple striker, swinging for 40k and then you get to put it back in active mode to do to be a blocker. So super. I mean, you could run this over the Frieza. The Frieza is cheaper. I do like this one just because it is a unison. You can get it out earlier on turn 4, but both are really good. The other one that you could run, and I like this one, is Heroine's Lineage. You're going to ignore the activate main, the top one. You're not going to use that. Obviously, you don't have any... you don't have Bulmas, or you don't have Pans, or you don't have Videls in your deck, but you're going to use the Activate Battle on this one. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 7 or less and gain control of it. Keep in mind, this is an Activate Battle. So that means they could go in, swing, do a bunch of damage to you, like sit there and combo, and then you just go, oh, yep, I'm going to pay 1, I'll take over your battle card. As long as that thing don't have barrier and that thing is 7 or less, or doesn't have indestructible, you can easily take over that battle card. So super, super, super solid. It is kind of like that surprise play. Your opponent don't see it coming and went, oh crap, I forgot that card exists. Not to mention, this online is actually really cheap right now. It's one of the cheaper ultimates. I think it goes for about 20-25 bucks. So super good for a budget build. All right, well, that is the deck profile video. It is a little bit more aggressive than other decks, so if you are interested, it has that kind of aggressive type control as well, because you don't have to swing into your opponent every time. But really, really, really enjoy the deck. Playing with locals, again, someone new getting into the game. And it does have the ability, especially with the new support, it does have the ability to be quite competitive. You might need to get a few other cards for the deck, but again, super fun to play. Highly recommend, especially if you're getting a new player into the game, to check out the deck. Well, I do want to say thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you for supporting the channel to allow us to do these deck profile videos and podcasts and all these different kind of games that we play. So thank you so much for taking the time. I encourage you to check out the main deck channel. We review all types of TCG card games. Big, small, we play them all. We're all card players. So, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile video. My name is Mike the Pied Piper on behalf of the main deck team, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.